Live with intention. So this is the Commonplace binder. I'm going to set this down now. Obviously this is the Commonplace binder 101 playlist. We're on video number 82. This one is Begin the Year with Commonplacing. That's the next one. We're going to go through these one column at a time, and that'll be it. Live with intention. So we're going to do things on purpose, and I just explained to you what we're going to get to. Invested in the side quest. So are there any special little bits of B-roll? Not today, sorry. We're just going through this. Steps to get there faster. So I could just read off all these things for like 10 seconds each, and then we would blitz through the video, but I don't really want to do that. So, isolated community. We need to slow down. Isolated community, what is this? So this is my Commonplace binder. A Commonplace binder is basically a commonplace book, but there are no page numbers, which means there's no index, and so I use a contents page instead, which is right there. So if there's a community of people who do commonplace binder stuff rather than commonplace book stuff, that's a bit of an isolated community on the internet. Blessed by the algorithm. Maybe it's the new year for you, and maybe you want a thing to, start the year with, or maybe you're getting your New Year's resolutions ready. And it's a good idea to focus on some things that aren't always blessed by the algorithm, because if everyone's doing them and you've tried them and they haven't worked, maybe it's time to try something else. Or maybe you've heard this sort of thing talked about before and you just never got around to it. So maybe you could try it. So I have a bunch of videos that say how to do that, or why to do that, or who does that. But we're just gonna keep moving on. $1 billion solution. So the thing I'm talking about on this channel isn't you doing this thing, it isn't me doing this thing, it isn't an isolated community doing this thing. I'm focused on everyone doing this thing, which kind of means rewriting education, which is a little ridiculous, because redoing education is kind of like redoing society. But here I am just saying, oh yeah, we're gonna do it and it's gonna be only $1 billion, right? It's more of a $1 trillion solution, or more than that. But we can start very easily and simply. Like, for example, who's it going to affect in the first year? One person. Just like if you're beginning the year, it only affects you, that one person. Set the foundation. So the thing we're going to be doing next year is we're going to be talking about how this is going to get pushed out with the one person, which will, become more people over time. But we don't really need to worry about that right now. Finding the point. So is the point of this video to talk about next year? Well, if you're beginning the year, then technically we are talking about next year. But no, where are you going to find the point? How are you going to find the point as to which thing to do on your to-do list? Well, maybe you look in this sort of thing. So it might be that you have your to-do list stored in here because you don't know what else to put in here. And so eventually you'll get through your to-do list. That seems very short-term though. But that's okay, because all we gotta do is find the point, and then find another point. And as I just touched this point, we're gonna move to that one. Perpetual learning. So after you figure out how to use your to-do list in a slightly different way, what are you going to work on next? Are you going to work on $1 billion solution? Maybe you're going to try to get to $1 billion. Maybe that is the solution you're looking for. Like, there are a lot of things going on in life right now, and you're like, okay, but if I had $1 billion, it'd be fine, right? Not necessarily. Maybe it would be underwhelming. Maybe you'd get there and be like, what if I had 10 billion? What if I had 100 billion? It might also feel underwhelming, because if you actually get to the billion, then you can only really hang out with like 1% of society. But realistically, only 1% of those people are going to be above a billion. So you might be like, I'm going to get this super secret exclusive club, and then there's nobody actually in it. The rawness of life. Maybe that's what we're missing. Maybe we just need to go for a walk, go touch grass. I'm not really sure. But if we're going outside, how are we going to begin the year with commonplacing? Well, maybe you could go outside, you could take some notes, and then come back inside and actually organize the notes. The notes don't necessarily have to be handwritten. You could talk into your phone, or maybe you just take a bunch of pictures and then you write about the pictures when you get home. I don't know. In a world of brain rot. So why would we go outside if we can just watch videos? Well, because apparently brain rot is kind of a thing right now. People are forgetting things, people are not learning things, people are having trouble doing pretty much anything with their brains. So considering this has been used by people who have brains, maybe we could try using it. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that if they had brains, we're going to get brains or we're going to use our brains effectively. A pocket polymath. So polymaths, or Renaissance men, or whatever you want to call them, basically people who used to know a little bit about everything, or a lot about a few different subjects. Kinda did well in the Middle Ages, or the Renaissance. The problem is we have a little bit more information, and by a little bit I mean like an outrageously large, vast, just incomprehensibly large sum of knowledge. So nobody's going to be able to learn all of that. Even learning all of medicine is just kind of an insane thing to say. Like, no one's going to learn literally every single medical thing. That's ridiculous. So one thing that we've been doing is we have a pocket polymath. We don't have a person who knows everything around us all the time, but we do have a phone, which can give us approximate knowledge of many things. And so sometimes that information is good, and other times it will be bad. But it's often better than nothing, and even if it makes us screw up 1 out of 10 times, it still helped us out the other 9 times. Crafting a narrative. Maybe if the phone is effective, maybe that means we're going to have glasses or whatever else, and it's just going to beam the information directly into our brains. Actually, why not just put like a chip in our brains? That's a terrible idea. If we think we have brain rot when some people have phones, the idea that it's going to get better by putting computers in every single person's brain is kind of insane. So hopefully we're going to craft some narratives about some other things. Actionable notes. So earlier in this video, or maybe in the last video, I'm kind of losing track at this point. Maybe I'm getting affected by the brain rot. I talked about a to-do list. And so a to-do list is pretty actionable because you just do the thing. But we can always take notes that are actionable in other ways. Like, for example, I might get hungry at some point, which means I probably want to make something. And I know that if I eat something that's already made, it's probably not going to provide me with the nutritional value that an actual cooked meal will provide. So it might be good for me to learn how to actually cook meals. The problem with that is I need to take notes on that. Or I need to find that information from somewhere else. Maybe the little pocket polymath. This is not as good in some ways, and in other ways it's better. Just like thinking is better than just taking information from everybody else. Now, there are a lot of situations where just taking advice from other people, or accepting help from other people, or just searching for information is going to be better than just outright knowing everything. The problem is if we never know anything, we're going to be in trouble. Customized solutions. So if everybody has their own book, and we all make it work for our specific lives, I feel like that might actually be very helpful when it comes to a customized solution, because even if we're going to be using all this AI stuff, we could still have the AI give greater weight to whatever we have within our own binder or book, or maybe we have a digital equivalent of this as like a personal knowledge base, or just like a photo album. And so if we focus on ourselves in one small place, it might be that in one large place, like the rest of our lives, we can leave that to the boss. Life got in the way. So maybe life will get in the way of the bonds. Maybe life will get in the way of the book, or the binder, or whatever else. It doesn't really matter. It just matters that you, begin. because this is a perpetual learning thing. Reaching critical mass. So at this point, I'm basically just going to get this done. Like, I'm going to finish this playlist of 100 videos. I'm going to feel awesome afterwards, but until I finish it, it's just going to feel heavier and heavier because it's like, it's almost done, but it's not quite there yet. But you might reach critical mass in some sort of other way. Like, for example, if you do fill in a binder, you might fill in the entire thing. And then afterwards you'll realize, wait a second, if I did this once, I can probably do this a second time. And so you might end up with this giant mess. So don't do that, probably. Try to keep it to just one binder if you can. You might have one per year, and then like another one, which is the one that you use to like look at all the stuff from all the other years, but you know, try to keep it rather limited if possible. Start. So if you never begin, you'll never start. So you don't necessarily need to start the year with commonplacing, but you probably should start commonplacing in your life at some point. Not necessarily because you have to do it forever, but it might be good to try it and then realize it's not that good, and then stop doing it, and then you'll never be like wondering, is it good? Is it bad? What do you what do we do here? I think you will keep doing it. So keep doing it. Like, once you start, just keep doing it, because you're holding on to stuff and you're just organizing it in a different way, and that's kind of it. So, how write book is up next. It's probably how to write a book, or how to keep writing a book. Not exactly sure what it's going to be, but that'll be the next video. So thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.